introduce what is a new award here at Oklahoma High School. Earlier this summer, we had a tragic experience where we lost one of our scholar athletes far too early. And in order to recognize his legacy, not only this year but every year moving forward, Oklahoma High School is taking steps to develop an award for that. And to speak more about that, I want to introduce the father of Tim Nickos, Mr. Dale Nickos.
Hello everyone, my name is Dale Nickos. I'm here tonight to award the first annual Tim Nickos Memorial Scholarship. As some of you know already, my son Tim passed away this summer from an undetected heart condition. Tim was really fond of Oklahoma High School. He really loved it here. When he was in grade school, he always, hated school, but as soon as he came here, he immediately, fell in love with school, which was a blessing on my side, so I thought it was great. This would have been his 4th year of both band and swimming. He was supposed to be the captain of the swim team this year. Tim was always involved in some sort of cause like Relay for Life, car washes, buying t-shirts for whatever cause was, going on at that time. Like I remember usually you give money for lunch at the beginning of the week, and he'd come to me on Wednesday and say, "Hey, I need more money." And I was like, "What do you need money for?" And I find out later that it's because one of his friends didn't have money for lunch, and he decided to get lunch. So he's always trying to give something to somebody. So when this happened, I knew that I had to do something, and I'm thinking about what could I do in his memory. And providing a scholarship to give back to the high school was, to me, it was like an automatic thing. I thought about that, and it made a lot of sense to me. So that's what I decided to do. And with the help of Will Dreyer, TJ Zizka, Mr. Paul Levy, we put together the Tim Nickos Memorial Scholarship. And I felt this would be a way for him to give back to the school that he loved and all the students that he loved. So the one thing I knew was that Tim loved to have fun, even during competition. I know during swim meets he'd always be joking around, and he'd get serious when it was time, and next thing you know, I'd look from the stands and he'd sitting there talking to somebody else on the other team. He didn't care who you are or what you were doing, he'd talk to you. He was just happy-go-lucky and fun. And when I talked with Coach Lee all the time, during practice, Tim was always, he was joking around there too, but he was a pretty hard worker. The one thing he did is, when Coach C came along, things were a little tougher. We had a coach that was a little more aggressive to get getting the kids to swim good. And they'd always seem to turn to Tim and look at him and say, kind of look like, what should we do? And Tim would kind of just throw his arms up and go, all right, whatever, and then jump in the pool and they'd all follow him in. So one of the things that he had was he had a smile that was contagious. I mean, anywhere you go, you'd look at him, you'd see him from the stands in band or something like that, he'd be smiling somewhere. I remember one of my favorite parts was during the football games. He'd be playing in band, and all of a sudden this song, I think it's called Apache, would come up, and they're all spinning around and dancing. And I don't care where I was in the stands, I could look up and I'd see Tim up there dancing, all 6'2" of him with his hair flying around and doing something goofy. That was his way. We did this scholarship this year. It was really, we put it together and made it where you had to be, a member of a group, and then you just can't apply for it. You'd have to be recommended by either your coach, the leader of the group, the band director, something like that. And then they got the application and put an essay together. So what we did is we got the group of us that put this together, and we got the essays without names on them or anything. We got to look through them and pick a winner, and I'll tell you what, it was really hard. When you start looking at the kids that were applying, it was just, it's pretty amazing hearing some of the stories. Some were funny, some were just flat amazing how great these kids are. And in the end, we came down to, there was one clear winner that we really felt that it was a good match for Tim. We thought of this person, and it was the total, we all agreed it reminded of Tim. This person also shares a lot of the same characteristics as Tim. this person was involved in 2 of the same activities as Tim was. And every time I see this person, they're always smiling, joking around. I don't care where, if I was looking, one of the events or I was looking at pictures, they're always smiling. And I also was told by the coaches that this person shared the same work ethic as Tim. This person even won the same award that Tim did last year, which was the Sportsmanship Award. So it's an absolute honor to present the first annual Tim Nickos Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $2,500 to Angela Roti.
Thank you, Mr. Nickos, for sharing Tim with us and for sharing your story and for raising all the money to make this scholarship possible. Next, we have the annual Joe Pajak Scholarship. Joe Pajak was a longtime member and president of the Athletic Booster Club. I never met him, but I was told that if he had $1 in his pocket and a kid needed $1, it was there for him. He was here at every event, selling concessions, doing whatever needed to be done. He was taken tragically at a younger age than anybody should be, and this scholarship was developed in his honor. It's another scholarship that has an essay portion for the application, a